Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42 with another Minecraft episode. Last time we did a bunch of stuff to get some filters in order to make this nuclear reactor. Here we have our nuclear reactor. I've only got one chamber on it at the moment, but it is running over to, well, a fairly full MFE. We can turn that back on. Start charging it back up again. I'm running this really basic pattern, which essentially is just a pretty, well, for this pack, pretty cheap heat vent and fuel rod 1-to-1. This is just so that we can get the plutonium out of that. Not very high output, 60 EU per tick, which is enough to, yeah, I'm running into my applied energistics. We'll leave it on, why not? So a few other things have happened between the last episode and this one. I've moved my rock hounding over here. It's now a lot more automated. Not quite fully automated, but we do have things like the test tubes being automatically put in. This one here, you know, carbon compound is automatically being put in and is completely full. We're still working out what we're doing with the other ones. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of sodium chloride and fluorite in there. Sulfur is always a problem with rock hounding though. What else have we done? Okay, we've remodeled quite a bit out the front here. I've done the beginning of changing over my storage. I've decided to move it over to here. I'm going to move those two items probably over to here, pack up my embers. I don't actually need embers anymore. They changed it in one of the updates. We can now make dawnstone in the metal alloyer with some gold and copper, which is fantastic. So the only thing I was using this for was dawnstone, so we can now get rid of that, throw it all in a chest, move some stuff around. Out here we've made quite a few changes as well. We've started working on a bit of a walkway over to that area there. We do have, well, the only girl on the server actually, Cat Battery, is playing now, and that's her little pretty house over there. She's cleared out a bit of space, so we're going to do something fun out here. I've moved the Abyssalcraft portal down over this side, so we've now got, like if you look on the mini-map, it actually looks kind of cool. When you go under, there we go, the orange and blue, which of course those of you who play other games will recognize is quite appropriate for portals. This one here, and the reason they're those colors is I've got this nice glass floor with liquid corallium under there and lava under the other side. What else has happened? Well, quite a few things, just a bit of remodeling. People have been leaving signs. There we go, ATME MC Server WS, that's the official ATM expert server run by Dykstra. He's also posted a bunch of other things. Don't forget me while recording. Signs around the place. We've spruced up our garden a little bit. Done this funky flattened grass path. Put some stuff out. Got our first bit of automated bees happening over here with Imperials. So hopefully we're getting, well, nothing yet. Hopefully we'll get some stuff soon. I've only just put that in. And that basically gets you up to date and onto what we're actually going to be doing this time around. So this time what I was going to get into was doing stuff like getting into some of the Britannia stuff, but I realized I can't really do that yet. I want to get to the Portal of Alfheim, but you can't really get there until you do a bunch of blood magic, and you can't really get blood magic started. And I'll show you why. Because the blood altar, you know, darkstone brick's pretty easy, chisel pretty easy, block of abyssalite, yeah, we can get that going just. This rune of fire, yeah, not too bad. I need to make a runic altar. Some mana power, mana steel, nether brick, yeah, nothing too hard there. But the demonic will, unfortunately, the demonic will you can only get by killing a mob with a sentient weapon, which you can't get without demonic will, or throwing a snare at it. And this is where the problem begins, because the snare, you need wisps. Now we've got cobwebs, we've got impregnated sticks, but the silk wisp only comes from a couple of places. One of them here is the silky propolis, which is from the silky comb, which is from the tropical bee family. Tropical bees I have not found in the game yet, but you can make a tropical hive with a bit of know-how. The other place is butterflies do drop silk wisps occasionally. Earlier on in the series I did get some of them on the other server before the server died. I've been trying to get them since on this server and failing. So what I'm going to do this episode is make a tropical hive and see if we can't get some tropical bees, which will give us those silk wisps. Now, jungle sapling we have. Mutating frame is the bit that needs the royal jelly, which is why I have those imperial bees. We're going to need some short mead, which is made in a fermenter from honey, which we can do. So I'm going to have to make a few things. I have to make another squeezer, a fermenter, the carpenter, maybe another carpenter will do. Impregnated frame we've already made some before. Other than that, we're pretty much good to go to make a tropical frame, and then we'll see how we go about starting blood magic. So I will run away as I always do, and I will come back once we've made a few things in order to make the tropical hive, and then we'll hopefully be able to get some wisps in order to snare some creatures. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. Ta-da! We have moved a whole pile of stuff. All the storage is now across here. That stuff's over there. We now have this nice sort of symmetrical open place. We've also got this stuff over here I've put down. We have the squeezer, fermenter, and carpenter doing honey and short mead through. I've got nearly everything I need. I was just making some impregnated sticks. So now we just need to, what do we want, string, there we go. Okay, one of these. Now I'm only going to make one at this point. Yeah, look at that. Because I don't think I've got any more royal jelly, although I should have some more by now. But that's okay, we'll just do the mutating frame, and then we're just going to need a couple of combs, jungle vines, treated wood. What do we need over here? Yeah, I've got a couple of them. With that mutating frame, we should. Oh, what are we missing? A jungle sapling, which I should have there. There we go. Huzzah! Tropical hive. Alrighty, so now in my tools I have a scooperator X200 turbo. Now I don't know how this works, so I don't know whether I just put it down and there's magically bees in it. I don't know if stuff's happening. Let's. Oh wow, and a silky comb already. That is so cool. Alright, so now let's just have a quick scan of these. Scanning tropical. Oh, they do poison. That's not so hot. Star type jungle. They need... Oh, they need warm and damp. So damp and up one is where we are. Unfortunately, warm and up one is probably not where we are. So what I'm going to have to do... And I want to get rid of that poison as well. Actually, what we should do, now that we have a bunch of these, let's grab some. Yeah, there we go. Look, more royal jelly. Actually, what sort of, that's a pristine bee as well. That could be an interesting way of getting pristine bees without having to wander too far, as long as you can keep making the hives, that is. But that's pretty cool. Right, so over here, I've been trying to isolate bits and pieces. Let's put the Imperial in there. What I'm trying to get is, there's an effect, like the beatific effect, which gives you a nice little boost. So what I'm going to do, this genetic template has, where are we? Yeah, effect missing. So we're not actually doing the effect. I'm trying to get, like as I said, the beatific effect. For now, what we can probably do though is grab the effect none, grab a spare one of these, effect none, yep, copy that. So this gives us a copy of the effect, put our effect none back so that we've got a master copy, and then just grab the genetic template, the effect none, and that'll add it to it. Now you can overwrite this later on, you can just grab any old thing. So when I do get the beatific effect, I can actually put that in there. But that's cool, that's going to give us fertility 4, take the effect away, make them cave dwelling, and also nocturnal. So what we'll do is we'll throw that in there. Look at this, flowers. No, still not what we want. Beatific seems to be pretty hard to get. It's still going. Let's dump our silky comb in there, the dripping comb in there. Awesome, so we're going to get ourselves a wisp, hopefully. There we go, so we'll do that one, and we'll do the drone as well. Never sleeps true, no. Still no beatific. That's probably not so important, as long as they're not zapping us. Ah, we didn't get a wisp out of it, oh well. Awesome. There we go. Now the temperature tolerance warming up one, that's still not likely to work because we are not in the right biome for that. So what I might do, in here we do have a bunch of, not common, they're rocky. Now rocky, if we, let's just scan only one of them. Now 3-3, average, but both 1 and both 1. So if we manage to get the both 1 traits, we should be able to give those for humidity and temperature, and that'll be just enough for the tropical to run. So never sleep. Oh man, we're finding it really hard to get some stuff. So what I'll do is I'll keep buzzing through some of these. I'll keep doing these till I get ourselves a humidity both 1 and a temperature both 1, and then hopefully get some beatific as well. I'll combine all of that together and redo these 2 bees in here, and I'll in here, and once I've done that, I'll be back and we'll set these up and hopefully get some wisps. So see you again in just a bit. So I am just running back outside after grabbing some stuff. I've managed to run these tropical bees through once. I've got all the traits that I wanted, the both 1 for humidity and temperature, got rid of the thing, got beatific effect on them. Also managed to get 1 silk wisp out of the first little comb that they gave me. Now what I'm doing here is I'm getting these item conduits. We are setting these to insert with a filter, and only the tropical drones go in the bottom. Same thing on the top. We're going to go insert with a filter and only the tropical princess on the top, and that's going to have them in there. Now this thing here we're going to actually set to both, and then insert is going to be nothing. The extract is going to be always active. We are also going to set the priority to 10 on that one and 10 on this one, so that the drones prefer to go in here as opposed to over into this chest. This chest has got input and output specified on it. Now the reason I did that is I was hoping, see, it's not working. Ah well, it was worth a try. I was hoping with in and out that when we do the insert here, these frames would actually be taken out of the bottom by the same sort of mechanism, but it looks like they're not. Let's just go in here. Yeah, in, out, insert, nothing, and for extract, always active. So it should be extracting those frames, but it isn't for some reason. So anyway, I'm going to leave these running for a while now. This one here is still running through with the Imperials. I'll probably come back. I might even leave it like a whole day of real time because it's getting pretty late here as I'm recording. So we'll come back. I'll hopefully have a ton of the right sort of combs. We'll get some silk wisps, and we'll be able to do the first little bit of blood magic. I know this episode has been basically about bees, but we are getting to somewhere we want to be with the wisps. So hopefully before the end of this episode, we'll be able to build that very, very first blood magic altar, tier 1, and start getting going with that. So one more cut, and I'll be back in just a bit. So we are back, and a whole night has actually gone by in the real world, and we're just coming over to have a look. Awesome, still running full stack, Oh, look at that, awesome. So we've got a ton of drones. I might need to make a second pattern of serums to only put out 2 drones instead, just so we don't end up drowning in drones. But we do have a ton of silky combs, that's awesome, as well as some dripping. 40 royal jelly, cool. Now we might need the royal jelly again later on. We're probably going to want to make industrial apiaries at some point from Gendustry. To make those you need alvearies, which means you need the royal jelly and pollen, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the one you need. Anyway, so let's just throw the royal jelly in there. Come over to here, throw in the silky comb and the dripping comb. Actually, not the dripping comb, because we're actually going to want to not do all of them, because we're going to want the silky propolis to come out. Awesome. And then we got to put this through again, which will give us the wisp. So from there, what we're going to need to do is chisel darkstone bricks. Not a problem, just with a chisel and the darkstone. Darkstone bricks is just darkstone, which is darkstone cobblestone, which I have a ton of because we've been doing stuff with Abyssalcraft. What else do we need? We need the Rune of Fire. Now this is going to be a little bit more interesting to make because we're going to need an Otherworld Leaf, Runestone. Well, we've got Runestone already. Living Rock we've got already, but we're going to need to do this from roots, which isn't overly difficult, so I might have to span this across another episode. I will do the Abyssal Knight here though, because there is one thing that I noticed with Abyssal Knight. And that is, like, we've been collecting a little bit of it. We've got 9 of the ore. Now, if we look at it, you just get 1 ingot, 1 ingot. We could get 4 stuff with crystallization, but I'm not sure how that actually works. But the arc furnace gives us doubles. So it is actually a good thing to use the arc furnace for. So we might just duck down here. Oof, and fall. Throw that in. And there we go, it's running now. Actually, what we can do is do that and that and get them running in parallel. And then we get our Abyssal ingots out the front. So because we've got 9 of these, that is pretty much perfect to make 2 of these blocks. So I'm going to use them for that. I mean, we could make some armor and other bits and pieces, but we will use them for the blocks. And then the Demonic Will is the thing that we're actually going to make this time, which is from the wisps. So we will have to span this. I'm conscious this episode is starting to get a bit long. So I'll do some of this off camera. I've done this sort of stuff before. I will have to do the Otherworld Leaf on camera because I've never done that before and I want you guys to see it. But we've done Living Rock before. I've done these things before. The Runic Altar is nothing new. So we'll do that in the middle of next episode, I'm guessing. So there we go, 10 of those. Let's grab those back out. See what happens with that. Put them over there. Yeah, 1 more. Cool. There we go. Wisps. Ooh, not all of them give a wisp though. But there's the 4 that we need. And we need a snare, which is done like that. Oh, we get 16 of them as well. Okay, this is pretty cool. So now we just need to look at the Demonic Will, which is this one here. Imprint of a demonic entity attached to a creature can be determined by killing a mob with a sentient or throwing a snare at a mob and killing it while it has white particles. So I wonder if this works on something as simple as a cow, or if it needs to be an actual hostile mob. Never having done this before. There's a chicken in there. That's funny. Alright, so if we throw this on you. Cool. Now, do we get a demonic thingy? No, but we got a ton of other stuff. Raw beef, some more of that. Right, so it looks like it has to be a hostile mob. Yeah, this is not really working the way we need it to be. So this is going to be nighttime, I think. Or we can run to somewhere. What's the time of day? Oh, we're getting towards nighttime. So hopefully at nighttime we'll be able to do some of this. So I will cut this one more time. I'll come back once we find some hostile mobs and we'll see how this works and I'll see if we can get some Demonic Will out of this. So see you again in just a little bit. Alrighty, we are out in the dark. We have a mob. Throw. Has he got the white particles? No. No, he hasn't. There he goes. White particles and, hey, look at that, Demonic Will. Fantastic. I did actually make some extra ones of these as well. So it's interesting. You're going to have to wait until those white particles are around. There's nothing more out here. Unfortunately, when servers get busy, mobs don't seem to spawn anywhere near as much, which makes it a little bit painful for this sort of stuff. Anyway, back across our bridge. So, by the way, over there is where I've put some trees and bits and pieces, so that's how I've sort of organized it now. But we have our demonic will, which means that the only thing left is to make the block of bismuth. We've got Darkstone is good with the chisel. It's just the Rune of Fire that we need, which means we need the Runic Altar, which means we need the Otherworld Leaf. But like I said, I will leave that till next time. So I will double this episode over to another episode, and we'll make the altar the next time around and get that started. And yeah, and that'll be the start of Blood Magic. So that is all from me anyway this time. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.